Dear Marg, a week has passed since I saw you last, but by George it seems a lot longer, and I'm not quoting from someone's famous love letters or something. I suppose you have readjusted yourself to the grind by now and have forgotten all about old Cedar Wild and the guy who met you the first night. I took a bunch up Friday night and returned home by 1. I saw Joe and a chubby girl whom dressed as Cupid. All the others were strange. I was very tempted to call it G5 just to see what it looked like, but decided differently. I had a slight accident the day you returned, or night I should say. I was working with Dad and fell against the veranda rail, fracturing 2 ribs, but they don't bother me much and could keep working. That's the worst thing in the summer. I expect to get my old job back again up north. We'll go into Larder Lake for a couple of months and hence to Sturgeon River area, I hope. Anyways, I'll know tomorrow night for certain. It will be nice to get away again as my feet are pretty restless. Well, my dear, this letter seems pretty much in the first person, doesn't it? Well, don't forget to answer it the same way. I hope the snaps turn out okay, and please enclose the negatives of you at any rate. Give my regards to Kay, and I'm sending something more than regards to you. Yours at any time, Roger. P.S. If I am not home, Mother will forward all my mail. Love, R. Box 8, Bracebridge. August 17, 1937. Dear Marg, well, here I am up in the sticks and with my old job back again. It sure feels good to be back again, and did I ever celebrate the night I landed at Larder Lake? It happened to be pay night at the mines. I had to get out of the car twice and pulled drunks off the road and came near getting in a fight once, some reception. We finished working early yesterday, so today I walked some of the lines, and so far, the geology looks promising. Tomorrow I have to go to town for a few things and am hoping to find a letter from you. If not, I will have to wait until next Monday. My chum is singing Blue Hawaii, and it gave me a funny feeling. Your favorite is another, but neither of us knew either the name or the words, so send them to me. You know, the one you sang to me at Roseneath, and while we danced at Cedar Wild. How did the snaps turn out? Good. I hope you send me the snaps to see, and I'll return them to you, then get the negatives some other time, as there is no photographer here. There isn't much more to say, dear, at least I can't think of anything. Give my regards to Kay and tell her I was talking to her Marvin the day I left BB, Bracebridge. Write soon. Roger. P.S. Please excuse paper and envelopes. The storekeeper still thinks lined paper is necessary. Reminds me of the good old school days. Love. R. Dear Margie, I received both your letters last Saturday and was I pleased, also the snaps, although I wish it had been a close-up. Thanks too for the song, it certainly brings back old memories of a short time ago, you, Roseneath, Cedar Wild, and you. Well, Marg, I suppose you are back in the old standard swing of city life? I certainly have regained my northern complex. Working the lines all day and mapping my maps and reports at night. It makes a long day but interesting, and I hope I can make a find, or I should say we, my partner Jim Gorey and I. You asked about my work and where I'm situated, so I'll try and give you an insight on prospecting. First of all, Larder Lake is a town, a lake and a township, situated 20 miles east from Kirkland Lake and 30 miles west of Rouen. If you take your geography and find swastika on the Temiskaming and Northern Ontario Railway, between Cobalt and Timmins. Then find a small lake to the east about 30 miles. Lardertown is on the northwest bay and we are camped on the northeasterly point. A little complicated, eh? But the best I can do. Now my work, we have 7 claims to work. First of all, we walk all the outside lines 2 or 3 times and try to determine the different rock. A claim is supposed to be a quarter of a mile square, although this doesn't matter so long as it has the correct acreage. Once we are familiar with lines and rock, we measure each claim separately and make a map of it, marking in the geology as we have found it on the lines. We then start to draw them all together on one big map, and then the hard work starts. Each claim must be cut into 6 parts by straight lines. 3 running across the strike of rock and 1 line up the center. These lines are then traveled and the geology marked in, so by consulting the map to date you have a general idea of what the rock formation is like. Of course, the centers of each section must be traveled in order to determine the contents of each kind of rock. There are rocks of different ages caused by different eruptions which caused the lifting of new rock and changing or sinking the old. Mineral-bearing rock is generally found between the later intrusives and the former intrusives, sometimes next to sediments. The object of the map is to place the kind of rock as found on the claims, and from them a program can be worked out at the least expense. When the map is finished and the work looks promising, we will have men in and put them to work digging trenches between two rocks, hoping to find a vein. If a vein is found, the diamond drill is put to work to determine the values at different depths, and the ore, assaying at $2 or more, is commercial. Are you bored? Well, that is enough about mining, dear. It sure gets in one's head though, and I like it. Larder is the town, as I have said, and a wild old place too, but lots of fun. I have a camera here and will take a few snaps of the town and around camp. The developing will be done in Kirkland Lake, but we'll send you some of everything. I don't know just when this letter will be posted, but we'll take a chance on the first person passing here. It's getting pretty late, 11 o'clock, don't laugh, but I generally turn in around 10:30. Some change from a few weeks ago, what say? I wish I could have you up here for a few days. I sure would get a kick showing you around the country and camp life. You had better don a pair of breeches and high boots and come up. Bring Kay, she's invited. Jim would click with her, and she, with him. Well dear, this is good night. I remember saying that before, don't you? Excuse the stationery again, but I can't do better, also the scratch. Thanks again for the snaps, and am looking forward to seeing the others. As always. Your Roger. September 2nd, 1937. Dear Marg. Your letter received Tuesday, and I think it saved me from cracking. It started to rain last Sunday night, and it's still raining. A tent on a rainy day is the world's worst prison, especially when you have read all the reading material over for the third or fourth time, so you see your letter meant a great deal to me. Despite the rain, we did work yesterday and a few hours today. My boots haven't been dry since Monday morning, and pants either. In fact, there are 2 pair of breeches on the line now. This is life, just the same and in the raw. I wouldn't change it for all of the cities and their artificial comfort. Jealous? No. You see, we have to make our own comfort, such as tables and seats. Our food is often tiring, but once in a while one of us or both try baking things, and what fun. I was pleased to hear about the good time you had at the luncheonette, but can't understand the dance part. You see, it's hard to imagine you staying home from a dance. I'll bet there was a few disappointed boys. Well, Marg, there doesn't seem to be much to say. Nothing exciting has happened, and I've only been out to town once since I last wrote. I intended going out Saturday, but this rain has held us up, and we sure have moved in order to make a showing when the bosses arrive, about Sunday or Monday. It's about 11 o'clock, so I'll just close this letter and leave it open. Sounds Irish, eh? So if it isn't mailed tomorrow, I'll add to it. As always. Roger. P.S. What are you doing this 11 p.m.? Your supposition concerning me resting was correct. September 9th, 1937. Dear Marg. Received your welcome letter and snaps Saturday. You must excuse, or I should forget my last letter, there was so little to it. I really meant to add to it before mailing, but didn't get the time. Last week rain put us so far behind, and then word came in that we were to finish up in order to go to another property, but don't know just where. I expect it will mean a change of address. On Saturday night it turned really cold and there was ice on the water pail. Next morning, everything was covered with frost. The next and last night was also frosty, but warmer now. One old fellow from a nearby camp said snow soon come. Flies go. Just 2 seasons. Fly time and winter time. We have our work in fair shape, and I believe the map will be really interesting. Sunday, we found the remains of an old camp pretty well rotted, but on the doorway was carved E, and I believe R. Under the year 87. We made inquiries from the recorder at the Fenland mines half a mile away. He told us a company sent men up here in that year and the next. We tried to figure how they got their supplies in, as the camp would have about 5 or 6 men. Apparently, they either brought their supplies from Ville Marie or the upper Ottawa River, or straight through by land and water from Barrie. We intend to find out more when we leave here and try and get the names of the men. Some may be living yet. Wouldn't they be interesting to talk to? Just put some more wood on the stove as this is cook night. I have beans and potatoes on also a ham and am waiting on the oven to heat up so I can make some biscuits. Or dough gods. We have to do our cooking at night as there is little or no time during the day. I'll soon be quite a cook, so if you know of any girl looking for a domesticated husband, just let me know. We have quite a job keeping up with the news and just learning the conditions in China. Sunday brought a stack of papers from the mine and will soon be all caught up. I'm reading the latest first and working back. This China war news must be affecting me. I am very up this week, as I see the boat races are on. I have a bet, in fact two, that Miss Quebec or Miss Shadow will win or place in the 225 CCM class. They are both Bracebridge-built boats and I've seen them race several times. If you see the race or one of the boats, tell me all about it, won't you? Pleased to hear you had a good time at the company's dance and very pleased you didn't drink much. I really don't like to see girls drinking whenever they go out, or boys either for that matter. I've only drank twice since I came north and 3 times since I saw you last at Cedar Wild. Good old Cedar Wild. Well, my dear, I hope you can read this letter, also get say half the enjoyment from it that I get from yours. I am going to town in the morning and hope to find another, but don't really expect one as there is hardly time. Give my regards to B and tell her I would like to meet her when she is sober. She is a little bit rattly when tight. Whoa, the beans darn near burned, and the oven is good and hot, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Thanks again for the snap, it's pretty good, don't you think? I'll send you some from up here when we finish our film. Hoping to hear from you soon. As always. Roger. P.S. A kiss for you by mail. Kindly return. Love R.